Ayaka Ko. Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. We are here to address the state, county, and federal government's assessment today of the effects of the wildfires on Maui. Without further ado, I'd like to bring up Governor Josh Green.
Aloha, friends. First of all, mahalo for welcoming us to Maui, and mahalo, Mayor, for being here for us. It's a heartbreaking day, without a doubt. What we've seen today has been catastrophic, but we tell you there is going to be a team effort to bring our state back. What we saw was the utter devastation of Lahaina. We walked from end to end today as a team, Mayor Bisson for the county, Senator Schatz, federal level, and myself, plus all of our teams. And what we saw was likely the largest natural disaster in Hawaii state history. You'll recall in 1960, we had 1 year into statehood, a tsunami that hit, took 61 lives on the Big Island. We are seeing loss of life here. As you know, the number has been rising, and we will continue to see loss of life. But we have extraordinary professionals working on this job. We also have seen many hundreds of homes destroyed, and that's going to take a great deal of time to recover from. But that's why we come together. We come together to give comfort to people, and like I said, we will prevail. But we come together now to talk about the specifics of resources. This morning at 12:10 a.m., my team and I submitted the proposal to the federal government for presidential disaster declaration. And exactly 6 hours later, we were honored to receive in the affirmative that the federal government will be supporting our full recovery, which means that there will be grants for individuals from FEMA, there will be support for rental aid, there will be support for small businesses, and this is just a small piece of what's going to be necessary. But the financial aspects of the recovery will help blunt the loss of life, because all of us will have a loved one here on Maui that we know of, that lost a house, that lost a friend. We talked to many people today, not just at the shelter, which was something to behold, and we appreciate all the volunteers, like we appreciate the incredible work of the firefighters and police. But we talked to an old gentleman who hadn't seen anything like this ever in his life, a wildfire that took the whole city. His neighbors have all lost their homes. His home was intact. He was in tears. This is a gentleman that doesn't cry easily. We saw young men on bicycles riding through Lahaina. They also had much loss to share. They lost their houses, and they don't know where to turn. So what we're telling you is we will rebuild. Today you're going to hear from not just me as governor, but you're going to see what Senator Schatz will be able to begin working on and proposing for our aid. Also, we have experts from FEMA, of course our local leadership, our state senator, and mayor. But let me say this, a couple things. We are going to need to house thousands of people. It's our intent to initially seek 2,000 rooms so that we can get housing for people. That will mean reaching out to all of our hotels and those in the community. We'll ask people to rent those extra rooms, or their ADUs, or the ohana that they have in their property. We will create a program so that that's available. It will be deeply subsidized, in my opinion, to make sure that for the many months that people need to find a home, they can have a home here. We will have to make the hotels whole as we do this. They are part of our economy and our community. We're also going to call to action for people across the state. If you have additional space in your home, if you have the capacity to take someone in from West Maui, please do. We'll find a way to connect you. Please consider bringing those people into your lives, especially if you have a space that you can otherwise rent. The state will find resources because the federal government will be in full support. President Biden spoke to me directly and said that they will be here with us all the way. We'll take questions at the end, but I know there are several experts here that are going to address you, and we understand you're hungry for information. Let me just say this up front. We respect that. We know how important it is that you do your jobs, but we're just about 48 hours in, and there's tragedy on the roadside. There's tragedy in the homes in Lahaina, and we're trying to be very careful to respect the dignity of people who have had such loss. So if we've been at any time more difficult to communicate, it's because we're trying to also respect what they've gone through. We'll get you a lot of information as we go through. So I'll pause there and give it back to you.